Most notably, this weekend marked the passage of the legislative coup that was Trump's big tax and spending bill. Now, I'm going to let you know, there were some cuts.
President Trump's big beautiful bill just passed, and predictably, the Democrats lost their minds. From the opening line to the final period, they mocked every inch of it. But buried beneath all that outrage is a hypocrisy so loud even Jon Stewart couldn't ignore it.
Tell me you didn't just brag about changing nothing about the bill but its name.
This is not a big, beautiful bill at all. That is why I moved on the floor to strike the title. It is now called The Act.
And in classic Stewart fashion, he torched them. It was brutal. I've got all the scorching clips lined up, so hit that subscribe button and let the drama...
Another way we can talk about this bill is Democratic fecklessness. They were utterly powerless to stop this turd of a bill, which makes them look terrible. The only thing that could make Democrats look even worse was bragging about the nothing they could do.
So the Democratic Party is all bark and no bite, just a loud, angry chorus with zero follow-through. They had no real power to stop the bill. But if you listened to their pre-passed tantrums, you'd swear they were some unstoppable political force. They threatened lawsuits, vowed walkouts, and filled cable news with promises of resistance. They postured, they roared, and they gave their followers false hope, but when the moment came to act, crickets. The bill sailed through without so much as a speed bump, and here's the truly pathetic part. They didn't just fail, they celebrated the failure. Yes, these political pyromaniacs lit a firestorm of outrage, then stood around, admiring the blaze as if watching from a luxury suite. They bragged about their inaction like it was a strategic masterpiece, when in reality, it was pure cowardice wrapped in smug delusion. If this is the hill they want to die on, they better bring a pillow because the fight is already over and they're still pretending it's just begun. But Jon Stewart didn't stop there.
Schumer tweeted this: "News! I just got the name struck off this bill with a move on the Senate floor." Oh shit, no you didn't!
And that's exactly the point I hammered home in the first few minutes of this video. If you listened to the Democrats before the bill passed, you'd think the DNC was preparing for a legislative battle with tanks and helicopters. They puffed their chests, made bold declarations, and acted like they had some secret weapon up their sleeves. Spoiler alert, they didn't. And then there's Chuck Schumer, good old Chuck, who proudly announced that he had moved to change the name of the bill, not the content. Not the funding, not even a single line, just the name. Bravo, Chuck. That'll show them, because clearly the American people were most concerned with branding, not the actual policies. If you hated the bill so much, why not use your big platform to fight for real changes that might actually help your constituents? Oh, right, because it's easier to play word games than do the hard work of legislating. You can't stop the bill, but sure, let's slap a new name on it and pretend that's some kind of moral victory. Pathetic.
Seriously, tell me you didn't just brag about changing nothing about the bill but its name.
This is not a big, beautiful bill at all. That is why I moved on the floor to strike the title. It is now called The Act.
Are we surprised? Of course not. This is the DNC's stock and trade. All smoke, no fire, just empty theatrics dressed up as political action. They're the masters of performative outrage, the high priests of hollow symbolism. These are the people who talk like revolutionaries but legislate like interns. They'll shout from rooftops, demand change, and then pose for a photo op while doing absolutely nothing. They'd rather tweet than legislate. It's no wonder their last presidential hopeful was the undisputed queen of word salads. Every sentence a riddle, every answer a maze, every speech a masterclass in saying nothing with flair when it's time for real decisions. They vanish like smoke in a windstorm, leaving behind only buzzwords and bravado. The truth is they're allergic to action, addicted to applause, and terrified of accountability, and the American people are catching on. You can't fake strength forever. Not when results speak louder than all the carefully crafted sound bites in the...
Are you trying to suck? Is that what this is? That's your move. We worked hard and took out the dumb name of the bill and named the bill after a prestige drama on Hulu.
Stewart didn't hold back. He kept tearing into the Democrats for being spineless, soft, and embarrassingly easy to manipulate. And honestly, can you blame him? That's what years of nonstop pandering does to a party. It drains the fight right out of you. It robs you of backbone, grit, and any shred of political courage you once had. Instead of standing firm, they fold like cheap lawn chairs at the slightest breeze of backlash. But here's where the rubber meets the road. It's not just internal. Damn, it's no. They're actively trying to export that same weak-kneed virtue. Signaling approval, hungry mindset to the rest of the country, pander to everyone, stand for nothing. That's their unofficial motto now, and they're proud of it. The woke mob claps the echo chamber, cheers, and meanwhile, America gets more hollow by the hour. They want a nation that apologizes before it speaks, that bows before it thinks, and that confuses cowardice with compassion. Stewart saw through it, called it out, and lit the match, and thank God someone finally...
Democrats still have Hakeem Jeffries over in the House. He's a younger leader. And he decided not to answer with words, but with imagery.
Hakeem Jeffries on Instagram. He's got a baseball bat and he says House Democrats will keep the pressure on Trump's one big ugly bill.
One thing the Democrats have mastered, I'll give them that, is using imagery to send a message. They know how to stage a photo, craft a scene, and make it go viral. But this latest one is a head-scratcher. Is Jeff posing with a baseball bat like he's about to step up to the plate or break some kneecaps? What exactly are we supposed to take from that? Is this some kind of veiled threat, a symbolic warning? Does he mean he's ready to bash heads if the GOP dares to govern outside the bounds of what's written in the bill? Because if that's the case, yikes. Not a great look for a guy preaching democracy and decency. It's either an attempt at macho theater or a wildly miscalculated stunt that completely misses the mark for a party that constantly warns about dangerous rhetoric. They sure don't mind dabbling in it when it suits their narrative. What message are we missing here? Because to me it looks confused, aggressive, and incredibly tone-deaf. Help me out in the comments. Seriously, what was the point of this? Maybe Stewart can help us...
answered with imagery that sends a clear message to Republicans that Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats are waiting for their moms to pick them up from T-ball.
Even Jon Stewart looked baffled by whatever imagery Hakeem Jeffries was trying to project. A baseball bat? Really? Are we supposed to take that as a threat, a metaphor, or a campaign prop from a mafia-themed fundraiser? No one knows, and that's the problem. But what truly got under Stewart's skin wasn't just the confusing theatrics. It was the Democrats' glaring inability to take a stand against the bill. Not because the bill was some monstrous piece of legislation, but because they lacked the courage to fight for anything at all. Stewart wasn't asking them to burn the place down, just to show some guts, to plant a flag, to say, this is what we believe in. Instead, they flinched, they blinked, they let it pass with a whimper, then tried to save face with performative gestures and toned-up symbolism. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about having the courage to stand for something, and right now, the Democratic Party looks like it's trying to be everything to everyone, and ending up as nothing to anyone.